So first, I installed a ladder door so I get to the roof and figure out where these guys are. And then, once I start realizing where they are, I can see that they're building a base right next to mine with some walls. So I decided next thing I need to do is get some leverage and get some height. So I started throwing up some ramps on my roof so I can figure out a way I can have the upper hand on these guys and be able to pinpoint exactly where they are. So now that I spotted, it is a duo. There's two guys attacking my base, and now I'm gonna draw the first blood. What's going on, guys? It's Black Tiger here, coming to a continuation from the last base build video I did on the small starter base, the Igloo. I'm going to show you how to make this bigger because you're going to need your base to be bigger. After a while, you can't just stay living in the starter base because people will easily be able to get in. I mean, I'm not saying they can't get into the next upgrade, but you're going to have to upgrade your base eventually. So this is the opening hallway where the workbench is, and there's a furthest there. In the last video I had it actually had the drafting table right there. So you're gonna open up that shutter door to the right, take that wall out right there. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take that wall, you're gonna, after you take this wall out, what you're gonna want to do is drop down a floor foundation at the bottom, and then after that you're gonna want to put up your walls. You're gonna put up that wall, and then on the right side, you don't want to put up a wall yet, put a triangle foundation down, and then go ahead and put up a full wall, and then put a half wall right here. And after you put up that half wall, now you're going to put a triangle right there just so you're going to have something to jump up on. You're not going to have any steps. You're going to use that to jump. Put a double door there. Now you are enclosed on the inside. So now you're going to go up to the top of the roof. Go ahead and climb up. Now some people don't like to climb up things, but sometimes it's all you can do in small space in a short time. Until you upgrade again, go ahead and put your walls, go all the way around and fill up the top spot and get your walls all the way around. And then when you get to this triangle right here, go ahead and put a triangle, go ahead and put your triangle ceiling right there, and then put a wall to block that in because it's going to be enclosed. You're not going to use that for anything. That's just going to be another outside layer. And also, now that you're finished with the walls on the top, now you want to look around. You want to go back to the steps and go ahead and put up a frame. You want to put a frame right here because it's going to be for your shutter door. You're going to put a shutter door there. Put a wall right here to block up your entrance on the side. Go ahead and put your ceilings up, your triangle, and then right here, go ahead and put your wall up, and that will finish your entry point. Now you're going to want to put you're going to put a door there, but go ahead and put your shutter door right there at the entrance of the door. Go ahead and fill up your roof. Go all the way around. Now that you're enclosed, you see there is a pentagon right there, or hexagon that is. I don't want to get confused. Go ahead and put some half walls down. All right, so now you got the half walls. Put the triangle base. All right, so now you have a base, and you want to go ahead and fill that in on the side. Put up your frames on both sides. So now that you have frames on both sides, you're going to use those for more shutter doors. Now I know what you're thinking. How can I get this many shutter doors? Well, if you upgrade enough and you get to the level 2 workbench, the med workbench, you should be good to go for that. And you have to have a certain amount of iron bars, that is, of course. Now you put up these half walls to finish off your shelves. This is going to be your closet and your main loot room and your storage room. Now up here, you can go ahead and make another sleeping bag, drop that down, and you should be good to go for that go. Now right here, go ahead and put a double door here so you have another entry. I mean, if you want to use a single door, that is fine. That is up to you. So now we're going to go ahead and put our loot boxes in. Usually I'll put one down so I can jump on top of it, so I can use it to put the box up on the top shelf before I put anything else up. And then just try to find a place to line it up so you can fit 2 on each side. So now that I got that lined up, I'm going to put up a second one. Okay, so if this is after you upgrade, if you have that many boxes, I mean, this is just the startup, and this is the secondary level of the startup. So now it's time to move your workbench from that hallway to give it your hallway more space for one, and then to put this in a better location, you're going to go back to your new entry point to go upstairs, and you're going to find space. You're going to put a ceiling on top of you. Now that you have to climb back up, it's going to be tricky how you have to do it. You're going to reach down, grab your workbench, and then you got to do a jump and stop. There you go. Now I'm going to jump up there and move it back as far as I can to the wall. And now it's there. So there we go. So now you got more space. for your entry point. And now you can put up another door to block your TC unit. There's another door, so now you have more. It's more secure at that point until you get to the back and add more to the outside layer. So add your drifting table right next to your new door upstairs, and you should be good with your drafting table. So now you have your closets. Let's go ahead and add more loot boxes to the other side and put those in. So now we have one on the bottom. So altogether, you should have 6 at the top. You should be able to fit 6. You just got to make sure you line them up a certain way, and you'll be able to fit 6 and still have access to get to every last one of them, with none of them being blocked by the other boxes. So there you go. So now you have your upstairs ready and your new updated base. It's new updated base. So now look at the outside. It's not the prettiest base, but you have an option. You can do something. Now you have this, it's a climbable wall. So I went ahead and made it to a star base just to keep people from throwing ladders up, make it a little more difficult for them to climb, but they can still bust through the wall. Now right here, I wanted to put bases all the way from the ground up. Particularly where I built this base, I couldn't do it. You can put that right behind your maintenance cabinet to block people from going straight through and getting to it by accident, because they would just get lucky. All right, so now that the base is done, let's take a look at the inside. So now you're going straight in. Now it's just the furthest. Your workbench is no longer to your left. You still have your other loot boxes at the bottom. So there you go right there. You still have your furthest to the left. You keep that there, another sleeping bag there. And then, of course, you have your maintenance cabinet in the second closet with the window. And it's easy access for you. All right, so now you're going to go ahead and go upstairs. And you go ahead and just climb up. It's not that hard to climb up. There's no difficulties. All right, so now you can either climb up towards the workbench or you can climb up towards your shutter door. Now that I showed you this video, I ran into some problems. This is a boosted server. This is a boosted social server, and they gave you a free gun, and it gave you. They also gave you explosive ammo, and this fool started shooting at my base while I'm trying to build this base. These servers really need a build server, a open sandbox server where you don't have to deal with this when you're just trying to do some custom builds. And guess what? This turned into a PvP. So first, I installed a ladder door so I get to the roof and figure out where these guys are. And then, once I start realizing where they are, I can see that they're building a base right next to mine with some walls. So I decided next thing I need to do is get some leverage and get some height. So I started throwing up some ramps on my roof so I can figure out a way I can have the upper hand on these guys and be able to pinpoint exactly where they are. So now that I spotted, it is a duo. There's 2 guys attacking my base, and now I'm going to draw the first blood. So now these guys are concerned, so they're really going to take the initiative, take the attack. Now I'm going to try to shoot down some of their base and try to make it weak. I mean, we do have explosive ammo, so I'm waiting for these guys to come back out. So now that they're not going to come back out, I caught this guy peeking after I threw up some more ramps. Just barely missed. Luckily, he peeked back down. So now what I'm trying to do is figure out where these guys are going to be located. So I'm still throwing up higher ramps just to try to go up higher, because that's exactly what they're doing. So I caught this guy peeking again, and this time he thinks I'm on the bottom part, and I caught him slipping and killed him. There we go. So knocked him there. So now the next move is to try to throw up some more walls to try to give me hiding spots on the top of my roof, since I'm trying to have the higher ground. Now this is where everything gets a little weird and tricky, and I made a mistake. I made a huge mistake because after I knocked the guy, I wasn't expecting them to be ready for me. So this time, this is where everything starts to fall apart. But then again, it doesn't fall apart because luckily I was knocked on my own roof, so I didn't lose any ammunition, any guns, anything like that. So I'm able to go back up, recover all that, and we can finish this war. Since this is what they started, this is where I'm going to finish. So now I'm going to climb right back up and get my stuff, and we're going to finish this thing. So now that I'm back on the roof, it's time for me to take position and figure out where these guys are again. They're obviously in the same spot, or either they're going to be standing outside my base because they're desperately trying to get in for no apparent reason. This is a boosted server. This is uncalled for. It's like a 1000x server with a free gun and explosive ammo, and they decided they're just going to shoot my base down because they're bored. idiots. And that's exactly why I went after them. Don't even care. So now I know that they're right next to my base and they're trying to get in. So my next move is, what do I do now? Because they're too close for me to spot them. Maybe I could try to build a wall and shoot down. But and this is the cheapest raid you could possibly do. If you're getting free ammunition, explosive ammunition, this is the cheapest raid you could do. These guys are idiots, and they don't need to play this game anymore because what's the fun of that? What is the fun of that? While I'm building a base, you're gonna start shooting at it. Alright. So what I did is I built a ramp far away. I flanked them. They have no idea where I am, but they did get inside my base. They shot enough ammunition for the fact that this server gives you like 700 ammunition. So ridiculous. So I drawn some more blood, and this guy is now jumping around trying to figure out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flank even further to the left because they're starting to get confused. I think they think I'm still in the base, and once I took fire from the distance, now they're confused.
The fuck is lagging?
So now they're going to try to hide and figure out where I'm at. So now I flanked, and now I knocked this guy and take him out. Now it's time to take out his teammate. So far it's 2-1. Boom. For it being 1v2, this should be good for me, but I made another mistake right here. There was a blind eye. I thought he'd be on the side of the building. Didn't realize he was inside because the brick was blind at night. It looked like the side of the building, and he came out the side of the room.